All right, this week in The Art of Mathematical Thinking, we are going to talk about statistics. We're going to talk about collecting data in section 9.1. We're going to talk about summarizing data and the traps we can fall into when we summarize data in section 9.2. We'll talk about modeling data, including the measures of central tendency, as well as the measures of spread in section 9.3. We'll hint into section 9.4, making inferences, where we'll talk about hypothesis testing and confidence intervals. And then in 9.5, we have statistics in our lives, which we've covered a little bit when we talked about genetics. So these are the things we're going to be talking about: methods of collecting accurate data, methods of summarizing that data, saying where the middle of that data is, methods of talking about the spread between that data. We're going to study the 5-number summary, and that's literally 5 numbers that summarize all of your data, and talk about confidence intervals, margin of error, statistical significance. The reason statistics are so important for us is that statistics are often used inappropriately, and sometimes it's nefarious. People are trying to do it on purpose to sway public opinion, but sometimes it's because people don't understand the mathematics themselves. Sometimes samples are used are not representative, or we have sample bias. We see misleading diagrams that really sway the information. And so, as consumer of statistics, which every single citizen is, we want to make sure that you can read and recognize when these things are done. And then as potential future people who are reporting statistics, we want to make sure you know how to collect accurate data that's representative of the population you're trying to describe, and that you infer conclusions using a valid method of inference. It is very, very, very difficult to prove that one thing causes another thing, but we may talk about associations between different variables. And so you may be thinking right now, there's no way I'm ever going to run a statistical study. And I think that there is a lot of potential for many of you to be running statistical studies, regardless of your fields, but especially if you're going into any of the social sciences like psychology, social science, sociology, any of those fields where you're going to be analyzing data and trying to make inferences. So in the next video, we'll get started.